Hi guys, I'm Jim and this is Jim's Fix-It Shop, and I got an email from, well, I got a bunch of them. I think this one was from Doug in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Thanks for sending me your state because I hadn't had that one yet. And I guess going out to Fran too, because she emailed her this morning and I said, Fran, I haven't heard from you in a long time. She was having trouble with the bushings in her side cases. I said, have you got your problem fixed? She said, yes, but I'm going to be getting back with you because now my battery's not getting charged, so apparently she's got stator problems, and it won't go in reverse. I've got a ton of emails from I can't get it in reverse. Well, I'm going to show you the snappers I got sitting out here. I got prices on baggers. You can still buy the baggers. And the place that I got a price from was White Lake Nursery in Whitehall, Michigan. I called them and got prices, and I said, are you willing to ship these to a different state if somebody desperately wants a bagger? He said, well, of course. He said, but they should be able to go to a dealer in their own area and they should be able to order baggers. They're still making them. You can still get them. If you're having trouble, you can't find one on Craigslist that's in good shape, I'll put this company's name and phone number in the description below and call them. They'll be more than happy to ship you one. What the shipping's going to cost, I have no clue. But I guess it'd be better than not having a bagger. I mean, what good is one of these awesome snappers for sucking leaves if you can't blow them into something? Let's go outside and take a look at these two I got, and I'll give you some prices. Okay, here's the two snappers I got. This is the one that I went down to Niles, Michigan and bought and completely rebuilt. It even came with a thatcher that hooks on the front for spring. It had this low profile bagger on it, which I don't care too much for. This is my old one I'm stripping for parts. Let's go around to the back side. This is a low profile. It has one bag and it slides out and you dump it. You slide it back in. I'm not real nuts about that style. This is the style I have. Let me move you over. The reason I like this one is when the bags get full, this fills up the top of this thing. This whole thing will fill full of leaves. I'm lucky enough I drive out in the woods and dump them. So when I get out in the woods, this thing is packed full. I open this up and I just brush the leaves off. I take the two bags and I empty them. This thing is awesome. That one over there, I don't care so much for. I'm thinking that one's going to be for sale. The tractor, I'm tearing that apart. I'm going to take everything off it. And you can see I've already got a lot of parts off. I got the gas tank off. I put that on that one because I knew the inside of this gas tank was clean and it didn't have any varnish in it. I took the seat off and put that on there because that was an aftermarket seat that was new. The engine is about, I think, 10 years old, and I bought it from the same place I always do. I'm going to take the front end off, and I'm going to take the mower deck off, which is full of holes. The engine will come off, and I'm going to put this in the shop, and I'm going to use it for a prop. So when somebody sends me an email and they say, I got this problem, I can't figure it out, we're going to go over and throw that up on a bench and show you what's wrong. It'll be a lot easier than trying to explain it to you. I'm going to take this bagger off and tip this thing up. Give me a second. Oh, before I do that, the prices I got on these baggers. The double bagger with the dome top is $529 with $29 shipping to get it from, I think he said Wisconsin up to Whitehall. Then he'll send it from there to you, and of course there's going to be more shipping. Now the $29 shipping fee that the company gets is extremely cheap because of the volume that they're shipping out every day. It's just like us at the shop. For you to ship that same distance, I'm guessing it'll probably cost you $75 to $100. This bagger, you can still buy these. They're $329. Now, I didn't ask, but I'm assuming, I'm sure it comes with the tube, and I'm assuming it comes with the chute, or the boot, whatever you want to call this, that hooks to the mower deck. I believe he said that was the complete bagger. So I would assume that he means this boot that hooks to the mower deck goes with that for the $329. Now let me flip this up, and I've tried to explain some of the problems you may be having because you can't get your machine in reverse. Okay, we've got you really tipped in here sideways. I got this thing stood up. Here's the shifting lever, and this one goes into reverse not too bad, but typically they go into reverse quite hard. They're under a spring load when they're in reverse. So as you're backing up, if you push the clutch in to slow down, this will automatically pop out of reverse. That's just the way they're designed. Now I've got a clamp. I've got one of these clamps. It's just a wood clamp out of the shop. And I clamp it on the clutch pedal to hold the clutch in. Because like I said before, I work by myself. Now your shifter you can move once you have the clutch clamped. Now if you look inside, if you're having trouble getting in reverse, right here is a bar that's got a nut on this back side that bolts to your shifting lever. What you want to do, first thing you want to do is take this nut off and take this bar off of this lever and try shifting it with nothing hooked to it. If it still turns hard, that means you're going to have to take this thing apart. Move this deck out of the way. There's a big spring right here, and there's a grease fitting right there. Most people don't even know that's there. You can try pumping that full of grease and see if it breaks loose and shifts better. If that shifts freely, and that's not your problem, then I'll show you something else to check for. Okay, I have it shifted into 5th gear. Now you want to check your yoke. This one's in extremely good shape. I'm surprised as many years as I've had this. You want to make sure this is straight right here. A lot of them will have big grooves wore into them. And let me shift it the other way. Now that's in reverse. You can kind of tell which gears I use the most. I had a viewer email me and tell me that somebody told him he had to suck leaves in 2nd gear. Well, no you don't. This rod is right smack in the way. I don't know if I can move this camera back a little. There. The bottom of this, 5th and 4th, is just starting to get a dimple wore in it. And the rest of it's pretty smooth. The issue with that is this is your clutch spring up in here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm having a hard time looking at the camera to see if you can see what I'm looking at. Up in here, right there. That's your clutch spring. that only has a certain amount of travel. So if this yoke gets a big spot wore in it in one particular gear, when you shift into that gear, this yoke can't shove your clutch up into your drive disc the way it's supposed to. That'll give you a clutch, make you think you have clutch problems, but really it's just the yoke. So check out the bottom of that. It should be smooth and straight, just like the top is. Now another problem you're going to have if it doesn't shift good, you want to check your boots. Let me tip this up. If your boots have any rips in them, sand and dirt's going to get in there, and there's a hexagon shaft that your chain case slides on. You're going to want to take this loose from both sides of the chain case, this one and this side over here, shift it all the way one way, move this boot out of the way, and clean that hexagon shaft. You want to get it clean. Put some grease on it with your, just take some grease out of a grease gun, smear it all over there with your fingers, shift this the opposite way, and clean this side. These boots are, remarkably, they're in good shape. I'm surprised. It was like, it was over 20 years ago I rebuilt this machine. Then you want to shift it all the way into fifth. Do the same thing. Take this loose, clean this, and grease it. Don't forget to grease. Put some grease in this fitting right here. That greases your outboard bushing on the other side of your, from your differential. Now, if you're looking to buy one of these online, what you want to look for is if you go over to the guy's house and you want to tell him, well, I'd like to look at it, I'd like to tip it up. Doesn't matter how pretty it is, this is what you want to look at. You want to look at the yoke to see how worn it is. You want to make sure the boots aren't ripped, because if they are, you're going to have problems with it shifting. You're going to want to take the axles. Can you hear that? These bushings are shot. There should be no slop in that at all. That one's really bad. But like I said, it's been 20 years. And there should be no side play. Grab the two tires. Now I'm not wiggling this up and down. I'm pushing straight sideways on it. You don't want any side play. The side play is easier to take care of than the bushing problems. If all it has is side play, all you have to do is take this boot loose, slide it out of your way, and there's some C-shaped nylon washers you can buy that just snap on the axle and fill in where that slop is. That's all you have to do to fix that. If you get too much slop, what's going to happen is your chain inside your differential is going to start cutting through the case. I've got one in the shop that's almost all the way through. It had so much slop on it. I hope I answered your questions. If you still have any, email me. I'm more than happy to call you guys and work out your problems. It doesn't matter what it is. I try to check my emails every night. Like I said the other night, I was flipping through these things and I was trying to move from one screen to the next, and instead of the whole screen moving, 2 emails disappeared. I'm hoping they were old ones. But I even try to keep those because, well, like Fran, she emailed me a month ago about bad bushings, and it even wore so far through the bushing, it wore into the case. I mean, it was completely through the bushing. Emailed her this morning and said, hey, how's it going? And she said, well, I got that fixed, but I got some other problems. So Fran, when you get to doing it, let me know, and I'll show you how to check your stator to let you know if that's the problem why your battery's not charging. You could just have a bad battery and it's not accepting a charge. It's hard to tell unless you have a battery tester. I have a big one here. I can show you what it looks like. But if you pop the battery out and take it down to one of the auto stores, they can test it for you and you don't have to buy the tester. I don't know, I think it was Doug from Pennsylvania, Hershey, Pennsylvania, no less. I mean, what better place could you live? My God, I'd weigh 500 pounds if I lived in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I mean, there's nothing better than a Hershey bar and wash it down with Pepsi. I mean, good Lord. I'd never go to work. Unless I worked there, and then I'd never go home. But if you have any more questions, call me. Like I said, that old snapper I got, I'm going to strip it down and turn it into just a model that I can have in here, and when you have problems I can go over it a lot easier than trying to kneel on the ground with the camera in my hand. So let me know what you need. You can still get baggers. Doug, if you can't find one somewhere else, email me back and I'll make you a deal on that single bagger if you want that thing. Don't matter to me. So I guess that's it. Work safe, have fun. I'll put White Lake Nursery's number and name down in the description. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I've got a lot of videos out there. I've got over 11,000 views. I figure that's pretty good for me. I've only been doing this about 6 months. And I'm on Facebook now. I'm going to try to upload the entire load of videos I have to Facebook so you can find them on there. If you like them, share them with your friends that have a snapper, and get the word out that I'm more than happy to help anyone. So until then, work safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you later.